Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this morning. Introducing the panel members will be Jala Rampo to my left and Mr. Robert Paluk to her left. And representing the city of Winnipeg is Heather Goddess. And our recording secretary is Carla Belshaw. If you haven't been here before, we'll just tell you what's exactly going on this morning. We'll be hearing applications for the revision for your assessment rules in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested has been described in each application, and we'll limit discussions to those matters. The statements that the applicants or the assessor make at the hearing are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking to this matter must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessments of other properties are not considered evidence of market value. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent of it, along with the city administration. We make our decisions based on the evidence provided at the hearing and issue a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions in respects to the application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be in the board's order. In respect to the hearing process this morning, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the other applicants may have, and then it'll be the applicant's opportunity or testimony, followed by questions. Each party will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this morning, and the session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decision. And you will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live stream recorded and will be part of the public record. We'll ask our secretary to swear in the assessor, and we will start.
Please swear in, yes. Please state your name. Heather Goddess. Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Do you have the next one? Thank you.
We're going to go to 39 Cotswold Place. Mr. McKay, is he here?
No.
He's not here?
Yeah, sorry, I highlighted that.
Okay, that's fine.
What the X this
Oh,
one is
okay.
for. Everybody else who's in yellow is here.
Okay, but this one here, we're gonna probably deal with.
It's not accepted.
It's not accepted?
No.
Okay, not, so we won't. Okay, and so we'll go to number 70 Vivian Avenue.
She has not arrived yet.
Not arrived? Okay, then we'll,
The next one down is
40 Settlers
40 Settlers Road.
40 Settlers Road? Okay, okay. All right. Are these people here?
Present, yes.
All right, come on forward.
Sure.
We'll have you sworn in or either affirmed.
Okay.
Will you swear in or affirm? Swear in. Please state your name.
Sandra Brunsky.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. And you're going to be speaking as well.
Yes.
Will you swear in or affirm?
I swear.
Okay. Please state your name.
Ryan Zollinger.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Do you have anything to distribute to the panel today?
Just some examples of some other that are equal
Thank you.
or lesser value. Yeah. Good.
And also a quote for our window replacement.
All right, so it's very informal, but formally.
Okay.
Okay, so we will first hear from the assessor, and they will state what their comparables are, et cetera. You may ask questions of them at that time,
Sure.
okay? And the panel may ask questions at that time too, the assessor, and then you will do your presentation.
Sure.
And again, the assessor may ask questions along with the board, and we'll have a summation if you wish. All right? So, Ms. Goddess, whenever you're ready.
Okay, 40 Settler Road. It's parcel ID 08008124400. This property is located in the Minnetonka neighborhood. It's a two-story, single-family dwelling that was built in 1990, and it measures 2,485 square feet with 986 square feet of basement finish, 2 full baths, 1 half bath with a shower, air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and attached double garage on a 6,229 square foot lot. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood, and they're all two-story single-family dwellings that were built in the same time frame as the subject. Comp 1 is the best comp with almost the exact features as the subject, and that is 59 Raven Drive. It's 2,473 square feet, 961 square feet basement finish, 2 full, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached double garage, sitting on a 6,259 square foot lot. And the finishes in this property are very similar to the subject. Comp number 2, 111 Ravine Drive, 2,292 square feet, 1,000 square feet basement finish, 1 full bath, 2 half baths. One of them has a shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached double garage on a 6,456 square foot lot. Comp 3, 138 Ravine, 2,274 square feet, 626 square feet of basement finish, 1 full, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached double garage on a 6,564 square foot lot with a commercial adjacent. And comp 4 is 26 Ambrose Lane, 2,098 square feet, no finished basement, 2 full baths, 1 half bath with a shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached double garage on a 6,080 square foot lot. So these sales range from 210.03 to 255.67 a square foot. The subject is 227.77, well within this range, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of the assessor in regards to the presentation?
No.
Mr. Whipple?
I have no question.
Mr. Verlook?
No question.
Where exactly is this property, in what area?
Minnetonka,
Yeah.
that's,
San Francisco?
yeah, closer to the river.
So, you're saying that the best comparable is,
Number 1,
number 1,
yes.
because of the square footage and lot size,
Everything, yeah.
everything? Okay.
Basement finish is almost the same square footage also.
So these other comparables are in the neighborhood?
Yes.
All right. Your presentation.
Sure. First of all, thank you for allowing us to come here and speak. So our background is this: we moved from Vancouver to here, and of course you can imagine the home prices in Vancouver compared to prices here in Winnipeg. And when we purchased the home, we thought actually it was pretty comparable to what we were moving from. But upon further assessment, the home was in its original condition when we purchased it, so there was really no upgrades. It needed new flooring, it needed new kitchen. It was quite contained in the way it was built. A lot of people passed over it because of those factors, as well as it needed new windows, which we provided a quote for the board today. And it just needed a lot of work. So we went ahead and we talked to our realtor a little about this when we received our tax assessment. And he said we had the option to appeal. And based on that information, we pulled some more homes in the area that are similar size, but they're considerably less than what's been presented here in front of us. And looking at that information, I believe that the reason why they're considerably less is because they probably don't have the upgrades as maybe some of these ones do. When you upgrade a home, it obviously increases the property value of it. I understand that the land is the land, there's nothing we can really do to change the overall square footage of land, but when you do upgrades to homes, it does increase the property value. So I guess that's kind of the angle we're coming from, even though you did address the fact that bringing in other values or other home prices may or may not allow your assessment to be heard, but that was on the recommendation from our realtor, who said he's been down kind of the same similar path.
And all of the comps that you provided are much closer to the water than we are. We're quite a ways away. All the Ravine Drive comps are either backing onto the water or we're very close.
So in the package that we have for the board revision here, homes similar size, but considerably less in value.
I think the same date as the Jersey.
Have you concluded value? Like, what do you think the assessment should be?
Well, I wish we would have actually purchased the home for less.
Well, you brought in comparables,
Right.
you know,
Right.
so obviously you don't agree with the assessed value. So, help the panel, help the
Sure.
assessor and, you know.
So I agree, I believe that the prices we have, like, I'm not one to say, well, if this was the price of this home, this should be our price. I think we should meet somewhere in the middle. I think somewhere around $480, $490 would be reasonable.
Okay. Ms. Goddess, questions of the appellants?
Yes, so these four comparables that you brought in, are these actual sales?
Mm-hmm.
And when did they sell?
I'm not actually certain what the sale date was. As of this month.
Okay, so we have a reference period for our assessment, and it's based on sales that occurred between April 1st, 2014 to April 1st, 2016. So we're looking at sales that already occurred, and then they analyze that and put it into their model. So it's a mass appraisal, so we're not looking at, we can't look at what's selling right now, there's just no way,
Okay.
it fluctuates too much.
Yeah,
So these
I'm not
would
sure
be,
of the
these are not, these cannot be considered evidence because they're post-reference.
Okay, I'll have to confirm with our realtor the sale dates on them.
So,
They were sent to me this month.
yeah, they'd have to be before April 1st, 2016 to be admissible. The comparable one that I said was the best comparable, that sold dated, just like yours. It was 90s, it had the 90s look, everything was original. And that one sold for $561 without being time adjusted.
Wow.
Yeah, so I understand that you brought in quotes for windows.
Sure.
So it's looking like 30,000, close to that, for the windows?
Around there, yeah.
And have you done anything to the house since you purchased it?
Well, we're gonna start, we want to start, obviously, because, you know, we would rather, it's just old, outdated, right? So we obviously wanna do some things to it.
So have you done anything though?
We started.
And what have you done?
We started on some flooring, we started repainting. A lot of the work we've done ourselves.
Okay, I have nothing more, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ruffle?
I see in the information that has been provided to us that the last sale information was from 2002. I'm wondering when you purchased this home?
March of this year.
Just March of this year.
That's when we moved in. The offer closed just before December 2017.
And the quote that you have provided to us for the windows,
Mhm.
I see it's broken up into 3 sections.
Yeah, so there's the door, the front door, the
Okay.
back door, and then the windows, and then an option just for some windows that open and some windows that don't. So we just provided a few alternative pricing.
And have you made a decision as to what it is that you're going to do? No, no.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Faluk? Robert, questions?
Well, one of the questions that I had was already asked. Obviously, you ended up purchasing the property for less than what it's been assessed at.
Yes. Yeah, because the assessment is 566, correct?
Right?
Yeah, so we purchased it for less than
And the amount that you're saying that you want it for, 84.90,
that.
is that in the range of what you bought it for?
That is a little less than what we bought it for. Yeah.
A little less. What's a little less mean?
It's about 25,000 less than what we bought it for. And that's the reason why I brought that up, because looking at the value of the home, and then I didn't notice that there was these comparables here, and then we saw this, and I'm like, well, that kind of would make sense to what we should have purchased. A lot of people went in that home, looked it over a few times, but because of the way its layout and a bunch of other things, it was passed over. And the owner can keep dropping his price, keep dropping his price. I think it sat on the market for about 10 months. And then we purchased it.
And so you haven't yet done these windows?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no.
And
We
what-
didn't think we needed to replace the windows when we purchased it.
Do that.
But, you know, as you live in the house, you see things and you're like, well, yeah, there could be some damage there, so we brought in somebody to provide a quote to us.
Okay. And are you familiar with any of these other properties that the assessors put a comparison to?
I'm familiar with the street,
Okay.
but not the actual.
And the one that she's using, comparable one, which seems to be close in size and so forth. Do you know that property at all?
I don't know it exactly, no.
Have you been by it?
Yeah, the street's very close to our street, but it's close, it's on the water, close to.
Okay. And you haven't been inside it or anything like that, so how does it look in comparison from?
I
Street
couldn't
curb.
say what it looks like. I just know that street.
Okay.
Right. On the water.
That's on the water, you're not.
No, it's not on the water.
There.
Ravine,
Theirs isn't.
none of them are on the water.
Ravine is not on the water also?
Well, it backs onto the water, onto the park that's by the water.
We have no park influence or water influence on that.
Thank you.
I guess your purchase is post-reference, okay, so we're after the evaluation for the property as of April the 1st, 2016,
Yeah.
okay? So this is why it's not highlighted by the city or anything like that, and, you know, you're reluctant, or I shouldn't say reluctant, you just don't want to disclose the price, which is fine. But on your comparables, it would have been nice to know the sales dates, so we have sort of a reference. I'm just looking at the comparables, and which one would you say is similar to yours? And, you know, is, well, I think Redview is a bungalow, is it not? Or it looks like a bungalow.
Well, it's a two-story.
Which one do you think? Second?
Yeah, this one and this one.
Probably this one here,
Which one's
this
that?
white one.
On Ravine.
Right, yeah.
Two-story.
118, 118?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would
Two-story.
be similar to yours.
Yeah.
But you don't know the sale date on it?
Now, is it possible for us to text our realtor?
No,
Or-
no,
or
it's,
you're not allowed to do it
yeah,
this way?
well, you could, but, I mean, you know,
Okay.
if it was a current sale, like, you know, this year, it's post-reference.
Okay.
So we're after the 16, but that would be comparable to your house? We don't have a picture of your house.
Yes.
Of all of these, yes.
Yeah, okay. And the one in McNulty Cove, that's sort of like a bungalow anyways too, eh?
Mhm.
Okay. You talked about being on the water. Is it just a view of the water or?
That Ravine Drive where the comps come from, the assessor's comps, are all much closer to the water than we are. And that street wraps around and some of the houses back onto a large area that looks like a park and
Is this a better situation on this property that you said is comparable to yours? And on the back page, it shows the River Point Park and it shows the Red River? Is maybe the assessor could,
Yeah, and Ravine.
yeah, so, you know, in fact, this is where you're talking about.
Over here.
yeah.
And where are you
Ravine
in-
was all the way down.
So where we are, if,
We're close to River Road.
so you see where it says Sattlers Road?
Yes,
Just to the top right of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about 4 houses in from River Road.
Okay, so this is where the point is for that comparable line?
Yeah.
And you say you're over to the
If you move your pen up,
up?
and then you up, and then
Right-
over
Right
toward.
by River Road.
Yeah.
Right at the
Okay,
R.
That's right.
Right about there.
About there, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So you would be happy with the, around the 480, 490? Okay, and how did you draw that conclusion?
Again, just based on the prices of these homes, again, we don't know when they were sold, but that's my conclusion.
Sure.
And looking at what we paid for our house, then I think it'd be a nice, happy medium between the two of the presented purchase prices and what we purchased our home for.
All right. Summation if you wish, Ms. Gobbs?
Just that I brought comparables in, and a very good comparable with Comp One that supports the value that we presently have at it. Thank you.
Anything further?
The only question I have is, you said that the home is built in 1990, which obviously we agree, but how do you know the dated of the contents inside the home?
From the MLS pictures.
Oh, okay. Okay. And they were all original?
It was, yes.
It was all original.
It was the same finishes that
Interesting.
was yours, like yours.
Okay.
All right, you leave it with us and we'll give you results and thanks for coming
Yeah,
this morning.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go to Ravensden Drive. You may come forward, we'll get you either a firm or a small, I'm sorry?
265, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
No, no.
Will you swear in? Yeah. Please state your name.
What do you want to say now?
Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the
Number
whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
265.
Do you have anything to distribute to the panel this
No, I
evening?
don't.
For a presentation?
Good morning, sir. We'll let the assessor take us through the property, so whenever you're ready.
265 Ravens Den. This is parcel ID 080812212115. This property is located in the Dakota Crossing neighborhood. This area is a newer pocket of homes just south of Aldgate before the perimeter. It's a two-story single-family dwelling that was built in 2017, and it measures 2,311 square feet with 2 full baths, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower. It has an attached double garage, and it sits on a 4,995 square foot lot. The comps are all in the same neighborhood, and they're all two-story single-family dwellings that were built in 2015. They're similar in sizes and amenities, with the exception that the subject has an extra washroom. And they range in price from $180.83 to $220.32. The subject is within this range at $201.21 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of the assessor, which you just heard?
No.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Ms. Riddle?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Luke?
No questions.
I just noticed that in your sheet here, the 2000 sale, would that be the land?
2016 sale, yes.
That would be the land,
Yeah.
okay. And this is recently built.
Yes, 2017 year built.
Do you have any permits taken out or anything like that? Or not?
I'm sure there would have been a new build permit, but I don't have it with me. I'm just gonna check the notes.
So you don't have a field sheet that says certain things?
There is the permit, there was permits for the building. New building permit, construct a 2-story, single-family dwelling. The permit value was $262,500.
How much?
$262,500. There was an exterior inspection, and the assessor spoke to the homeowner on the phone, and they confirmed the layout and possession, and they added the house per the plans. The homeowner did state that there was a bath, a half bath with shower in the basement, and nothing else was done in the basement at that time.
And there was a custom-built house or anything like that by a builder?
I believe it was a Qualico?
It's Broadview, yeah,
Broadview?
it's just a standard from the brochure.
Yes.
And the comparables are close to the subject property?
Yes, they're all in that pocket, that new,
So they're within a few streets from each other, or?
yes.
Yeah. All right. Ready for your presentation, sir? Do you have a handout or anything like that?
I'm sorry, no, I was not, well, I didn't know, this is my first time here.
A verbal presentation is fine.
Thank you, Chairperson. So when I went in this, when I signed the contract for this house, I had a good job, and since then I've been laid off, but that's not your concern. I don't have any air conditioning, I have the cheapest flooring, my basement garage is not done, I have nothing extra, no granite, no marble, just cheaper stuff. And it's very hard this summer, you know, I have a little son without the air conditioning. And I asked my neighbors around, I don't have any paper evidence, but they are paying similar prices for nice, much nicer homes, custom, customized with air conditioning, nice wooden flooring. I'm not looking for any of those, but I feel that, you know, I should not pay the same rate for a warmer house with, you know, just the basics. So I'm just asking if possible, I'm sure these are fair rates, but if possible, lower it a little bit, so at least next summer, I'll be able to, you know, at least get an air conditioning for the house. Nothing, not any other luxurious items, because it's very hard to live there without the AC, air conditioning. And if I didn't have that job, I wouldn't even come here, but if I find a better job next year, definitely, you know.
So you're here this morning, and what value are you seeking?
I'm sure the value provided by the city, I think it's appropriate, but I don't have all those, you know, my neighbors' luxuries, and they are paying the same amount.
So do you have a figure in mind, what it should be? That's why you're here.
Yes, compared to the previous people have very ill prepared. I was not expecting this. But, if I can get my, my annual property tax decreased, I don't know, by a fair amount. I don't know how much that is, but I think it's about, right now I'm paying almost 895 monthly. I'm finding it very difficult to meet that, make that payment. It's
okay.
It's actually because I'm paying 2 years for this year because but I think it'll drop down to probably 600-700 from next year, but still
The
not so much.
the only problem that we have here is that we don't really deal with taxes, okay? But we deal with the assessed value,
Okay.
that's all we can do here,
Right.
okay? But it's got an effect on taxes, but
Yes.
we can only deal with the assessed value. So, we'll just, Ms. Goddess, do you have any questions?
Simply to state that 1, 2, 3 of the comparables, no, I'm sorry, 2 of the comparables have no air conditioning either. So they purchased it, comp number 2 for $458,188. And it was a Qualico home also, and they purchased it without air conditioning. And the reason, like you said, your taxes, the amount that you're paying is because it went back to when you took possession of the home. That's not a normal tax bill.
Yeah,
So once you pay that off, that's not what you're gonna be
yeah,
paying.
but that's,
Because
yeah.
that's $10,000 worth of taxes, and that's not what you pay there. It's just because you're catching up probably 2 years worth of,
I've only lived in that property since 1st of March 2017.
right, so they would have started you, they usually give some leeway on the possession date. So they started you effective April 1st of 17, so you would have had to pay 17's, and then you have to pay 2018's taxes are due in June of every year unless you go on the TIP program. And then
I'm
it's,
on the TIP program right now, so
right, so they would have taken both years probably and put it on your TIP program. So by December 31st of 2018, you'll have paid off and then you'll start on the 2019.
But my neighbors in the same street, they are paying from anywhere from 4,500 to about 5,500 for a much nicer, little bit bigger houses with, so.
Well, I can't, you
Right.
purchased this house,
Yeah.
you should have inquired what the taxes would be.
Okay.
Your lawyer
No, I
should have
understand.
informed you. I have nothing further.
Ms. Whipple?
So I just want to confirm, you say you occupied the house in March of 2017?
That's right, ma'am.
Okay. And can you give us an idea of what you would be looking for in terms of an assessment, even if it's a temporary assessment to help you over this period?
I cannot convert them to the value of the property, but at least like 4,500 on my taxes to reflect that in my property taxes. I don't know how to convert that into my property value.
Maybe I can help out.
Sure.
The 113,900, is that what you paid for the land, or is that what you bought for?
I think so, it's all in the same package I probably
Okay,
is.
all right, just wait to see how I'm getting here. Now, according to the permit, I understand you said that to build a house was 262.5?
Yes, the permit value said yes.
Okay, if I add those two together, it's 376,
Yes, sir.
okay? What did you pay for the house? I'm having a tough time getting you to come to a value, so I'm gonna ask you some questions.
It's
that
about
might help.
426,000.
How much?
426,000,
426 is what you paid,
yes.
okay? And you've been assessed 465. Would you be happy at 426?
Yes, sir. It's always better.
I'm trying to get you
Yes,
to a
sir.
number so that I can understand what you
Okay,
get.
yes, sir.
So, because that's what you, in effect, paid in 2017, and we're
For so
using
much.
2016 values. Okay, just getting an idea.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Faluca, are you done?
Yes, I am, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Goddess, summation if you want.
No, thank you, I'm fine.
Okay. Final words, sir?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. So thank you for coming this morning, and results soon.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll just go a little further down the street, and we'll go to 301 Raven Bend. Okay? Sorry,
210?
210, sorry. I talked about that.
Good morning, will you swear in today?
Yes,
Please state your name.
Ephraim Brown.
Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute this morning to the family?
No.
Verbal presentation? Fine.
Good morning, sir, and you're aware of the procedure, so we'll let the assessor go first, okay? Ms. Goddess?
210 Ravensden Drive. This property is located in Dakota Crossing, that new pocket of homes south of Allgate, just before the perimeter. This is a 2-story single-family dwelling built in 2016, and it measures 2,206 square feet with 1 full bath, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, an attached multi-car garage, and it sits on a 4,827 square foot lot. The comps are all in the same neighborhood, and they're all 2-story single-family dwellings. They were built between 2013 to 2015. They are similar in size and amenities, with the exception of comp 1 not having air conditioning. They range in sale prices from $205.21 to $228.50 a square foot. The subject is well within this range at $209.43 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
I thank you. Questions of the assessor? No? Ms. Rempel?
I have no questions, thank you.
Ms. Hupfeluk?
No questions.
This is very similar to the last property that we heard.
Mm-hmm.
So your assessed value is within $3,000?
I'm sorry, $3,000 of the
Of
previous?
the previous one.
Oh, okay,
Okay, it's $3,000.
okay,
Yeah. So very similar,
yes,
other than the square footage is off 100 square feet.
great.
And your comparables are fairly close to the previous one. So, all right. And I noticed that the purchase, that was purchased in 2016. Okay, do you know exactly when or anything like that, Heather?
The sales date was April.
April? So in the reference year?
Yeah, we have them effective June 1st though,
Okay.
in the house.
Okay. So you can't really tell me when it was negotiated or anything like that?
I would think it would be way before April. I'm not sure.
Yes.
I don't.
Okay.
Would be 2000.
All right. The floor is yours, sir. You can take us through your presentation. Do you have anything to present? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is my first time to
So,
come here.
that's
I
fine.
didn't
That's-
know.
You,
Yeah.
the next time you come, you
Yeah.
can, you'll have experience, so.
Yes,
But
I have something.
the
yeah,
verbal
something.
presentation is fine.
Yes, yeah. And it's not easy a little bit to make something.
That's fine.
And sorry for my English at the same time.
Your English is very good, by the way.
I'll try my best. Yes, I am the first, my first time to own a home. I was living in an apartment, then I moved, we purchased in 2015, end of that year. Then we moved 2016, April. When we moved, we found we received one letter for assessment taxation for the land only. Then we purchased the land because it's include both the house and the land. I mean, the builders, they put both together. But when they split, 2015, the land was 118. At the same time, we received the letter assessment and taxation department says 120 is the first one, the assessment. Then again, at the second one, like 2018, it says we received 123,000 for the assessment of value of that house. After 2 years, 2018, we received another one. I mean, 2017, end of that thing, we received another value assessment for the house for 462. But I purchased that house for 18. Now, when you compare both, a little bit high to me, and I'm paying within tip more than $900 per month for the whole 2018 year. I can afford that one too. Now, because of that reason, I'm here today. Something to look on that paper.
So what do you think the value should be?
I built by myself deck on the back. Might be increased that thing. I did permit for that one. Might be increased for that evaluation, but when I say 430, it might be okay. I can say that. But now is 462 it says.
When you bought the house, did you buy the house in 16? 2016?
2016.
Okay. And was this the purchase price, $118,932?
Yes.
Okay. Did it include all the landscaping, et cetera, and?
Nothing, just only the house, not finished basement, just to receive the house only. Still also they didn't finish final grading. I didn't receive any letter from them. Maybe inspection is failed, something is happened. I didn't receive anything until today from the builders or from anywhere. I tried to contact City Winnipeg to do something inspection on that house. I didn't hear anything from them too. But except the deck, I didn't add anything on that one.
Ms. Goddess, questions?
Okay, so you put a deck on.
Yes, I did.
How much did that cost?
Just I built by myself, but like maybe around 4,000. Yes.
Did you do any landscaping?
I did front landscaping.
How much was that?
Less than 3,000. I did by myself, just the soil and I didn't do anything else.
So you haven't done the back
I
landscaping
didn't.
yet?
I didn't do.
Is there a fence up?
Fence they built my side, 2 sides. They did it already.
Oh, it's
Then
already done?
I finished the back one too.
How much did that cost?
Is that the fence or?
Yeah, for you to do the fence.
The fence to do by myself is just, wow, less than 1,000, around $1,000. I can't exactly give you the price, but because I hired someone to put the post only, then I did by myself the other part.
Okay. I have nothing further, thank you.
All right. Ms. Trimple?
I don't think I have anything, thank you.
Mr. Faluk?
No, I have no questions either. I think you gave a very good explanation, thank you, based on the response.
So by the time you take the purchase and add on possibly these other things, what do you think the value should be?
Yeah, that's why I put it 430.
430?
Yeah, because I added only deck.
Okay.
If it is,
Yeah.
I purchased for that one 418, then I can, yeah, a little bit might be increased within 2 years or something. Then 430 might be okay, I can say.
Okay. Ms. Goddess, summation if you would.
No, thank you.
Anything further?
That's it.
Okay, just leave it with us, so thanks for coming this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ravensden Drive, we're gonna go to 301.
swear in or affirm? Please state your name.
Ricardo, Sierra.
Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Will you swear?
Yeah.
Please state your name.
Amber Sierra?
Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute to the panel?
We got pictures.
Just some pictures. But not sets for everybody? Okay,
No.
that's great.
Okay, Ms. Gladys, we have 2017, 2018, 2019.
Correct.
Where do you want to start?
Start with 17.
Okay,
All right. So 2017, the value is based on, the assessment is based on values as of April 1st, 2014. So once again, this property is located in the Dakota Crossing, the newer pocket of homes. This is a two-story, single-family dwelling that was built in 2017, and it measures 1,954 square feet with 754 square feet of basement finish, 3 full baths, 1 half bath with a shower, air conditioning, 1 fireplace, an attached multi-car garage, sitting on a 7,534 square foot lot. The comps are from River Park South. To find newer housing stock in Dakota Crossing, that didn't start getting built until 2014, so there was no sales except for the older stock from Dakota Crossing. So these comps are all two-story single-family dwellings that were built in 2013, and they measure between 1,964 to 2,179 square feet. Comp 115 Stellarton, 1,986 square feet. It does not have basement finish. It has 2 full baths, 1 half bath, air conditioning, multi-car garage on a 5,288 square foot lot. 89 Stellarton, 1,964 square feet. It has 740 square feet of basement finish, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, no air conditioning, a fireplace, attached multi-car garage on a 5,058 square foot lot. Comp 3, 22 Stellarton, 2,046 square feet, 754 square feet of basement finish, 3 full, 1 half bath, air conditioning, attached multi-car garage on a 4,742 square foot lot. And comp 4 is 128 Ed Clayton, 2,179 square feet. It has no basement finish, 2 full, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and attached multi-car garage on a 6,578 square foot lot. Now these sales range from $235.25 to $251.40. The subject is 4 years newer on a larger lot, and it comes in at $250.77, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Questions?
Just for the comp 1, comp 2, comp 3 and 4, are those sites complete or they're still under construction?
These are all done, these are sold, they're
So
done.
They're done, there's
Yes.
landscaping, there's no heavy equipment, none of that?
Right,
So that's
they're
out.
done, yes.
Nothing further? No. Not for that.
Well, that's,
Okay.
that's for that.
Ms. Reppel, questions?
I'm wondering if you have any information about when the actual occupancy date was?
For the subject,
Yes.
new dwelling effective August 1st, 17.
Possession?
August 1st, 17. Well, I'm sorry, they probably moved in a month before that. We usually give a month, so we have it effective August 1st.
Okay. And do you have any information on building permits that were taken out for the building of this home? I'm assuming that the 128.9 was the land
Yes.
for 2016.
No permits found. No permits found is what it states here.
Okay. Is that unusual?
Yes.
Chair, may I ask a question?
So,
This piece of property, they're looking at year 217, 218, 219, right?
Yeah.
And I've looked at all three of them,
okay,
and I see a difference.
you're a little ahead of ours,
I know I am,
okay,
but I can't
but you
ask.
go ahead.
But can I ask that question?
Well,
Okay,
it's
I'll
a
leave
little
it.
out of order,
Okay, then
okay.
I'll leave it.
so we'll go back to the 17.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So, questions to the assessor?
Not,
Yeah.
Okay.
because that question could be asked.
I just noticed that comp 1, comp 2 are considerably lower purchases, the purchase price compared to the assessed value. And they were done in the 13.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just, questions, I guess, why?
4 years worth of real estate.
Yeah, but
Years.
we're dealing with an evaluation of a V-Day of 2014.
Right.
And these sales happened in 13 and considerably lower, like,
Right.
30,000.
It would be attributed to the age of the property.
New compared to old, okay. All right. We want to
Go on to 18.
go on to 17?
18?
17 and, 18 and 19?
Okay.
Because they're both the same?
Okay, yes,
Okay.
it'll be the same
Okay,
comparables.
yep.
And these are based on a reference year of April 1st, 2016. So comp 1 was built in 2014 and it measures 2,041 square feet with no basement finish, 2 full, 1/2 bath with shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached multi-car garage, and it sits on a 7,900 square foot lot with a heavy traffic influence that backs onto the perimeter. Comp number 2, 127 Twickenham. It was built in 14, measured 2,177 square feet with no basement finish, 1 full, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached multi-car garage on a 6,606 square foot lot. Comp 3, 19 Wainwright Crescent was built in 14, measures 2,092 square feet with 689 square feet of basement finish, 2 full, 2 half baths with showers, air conditioning, fireplace, attached multi-car garage on a 4,614 square foot lot. And 119 Twickenham, built in 2014, measures 2,204 square feet with no basement finish, 2 full, 1/2 bath with shower, air conditioning, and an attached multi-car garage. Sits on a 5,420 square foot lot. So these sales range from $228.27 to $248.95. The subject is within this range at $246.67, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
And thank you. Questions of the assessor?
Once again, it's comp 1, comp 2, comp 3, comp 4, there's no construction zones around them. It's been complete, that phase is completely done, landscaped, everything else.
These are all first-time sales, so I don't know about the landscaping.
Ms. Ripple?
I have no questions.
Mr. Faluk?
I have no questions.
No further questions, Mr. Faluk?
No, I mean, I just look at 2019 and 2018, you're looking at the same comps and so forth, so what you just presented on 18 is the same as for 2019.
Correct.
And so I guess we just we've gone through that, so.
I just noticed that the assessed value has gone down
Yes.
Yeah. That was the.
by $8,000.
Yes. And that's because we were able to now get comps in the Dakota Crossing neighborhood.
Okay.
And the first 2017 comps are in the River Park South neighborhood, because that new section, this Dakota Crossing section, see, this is all Dakota Crossing, but this pocket here, they built all these out, and they didn't start building those until 14. So I couldn't use those for the 17 value. So I had to go over here.
But you, okay, I guess I'm sorry for my ignorance, and this is my second year on this, and I don't, okay? But I'm using logic here. I mean, when you did these, you do them all at the same time, right?
Yes.
So even though you're using this, you can't use it onto this because it wasn't there at that time?
That's correct.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just so I understand that, all right, thank you.
The floor is yours.
Our argument is, our land is based, 2017, based at 490,000. As of right now, there's a house being built right beside us. So we're dealing with construction, dirt, and every morning, 7 o'clock, the builders are going and start banging and nailing. So that's what our argument is, how our land is based at 490,000 compared to other homes surrounding us, that which is lower of their land. So that's what our argument is this morning.
So what do you think the value should be for, say for simplicity, in the reference year for the 14, which is the 17, the assessed value is 490. What do you think it should
Should be
be?
350,000.
350?
Because that phase is not complete as right now.
And the 16, which is the assessment for the 2018, 2019, but the VDA of April the 1st, 2016 value,
Okay.
because you have two different valuation years.
Yes, I did. One
Okay,
was, okay.
so the first one was 350, right?
350, that's what I think it's.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the last one,
The last one was phase, like, the one before,
no, the
Oh.
current, most current,
most current.
most current.
Right now was, our land was based 133,000, I think it was. Before this one,
You have an evaluation,
of 482,000.
482.
Yeah, and then it got bumped up to 490,000.
No, it was,
Vice
it
versa,
was
vice versa,
490, it
vice
went down,
versa.
it
It went down.
So
Okay.
this is what we're at right now.
Okay, yeah, 482,000, yeah,
So
2019.
we did the one, the earlier one,
Mhm.
Yeah.
at the VDA that you want is 350. Now, this one currently,
These are the most recent ones. So 482 is what we're sitting at right now.
yeah. So if the last one you wanted 350, what do you want
I don't
this time?
think this phase will be done in the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It's still under construction, the house is just barely going up, you know. They still gotta do landscaping, still gotta deal with construction, heavy loaders coming through, 18-wheelers coming through, I'm still dealing with the heavy traffic.
So we're still asking what your house is valued at, not the construction that's taking place next door.
I'd say about 350,000, that's now.
Okay. Ms. Goddess, summation if you want.
Yeah, well, I actually have questions.
I'm
if I
sorry,
could.
I'm sorry.
So when did you purchase this home?
A year ago, like when the papers were signed?
Like
When was
negotiated.
it contract? When did you,
August of 2016, August through September, beginning of September.
and when you purchased it, you chose your lot, you must have known that construction would be going on for a while.
In the area, yes, the lot beside us sat for over a year. So currently, the lot beside us is the only lot that is being dug out right now.
Okay, so that'll be done. How long does it take to put a house up? 6 months?
Well, depending on when they show up and when they don't show up, but yes.
So you don't think you should have to pay a fair market value for your house because you're beside somebody that's getting a new house built? That's your argument?
Yeah, 'cause
Well, we
we're-
just think it's a little bit high.
We're dealing with loaders.
What did you pay?
For the house? About 515,
515, and you want it at 350.
350, reasonable.
Would you take, if I bought it from you for 350 right now, would you take that?
No, I wouldn't sell it.
I have
Because
nothing further, thank you.
Did you just say you purchased it for 515,000?
And we did the landscaping, we've done the fence, we've done all that ourselves and paid for it.
Okay, thank you.
Like for me to enjoy my landscape and everything, it would be with a house that's not being built beside us. To leave peace while I deal with construction constantly. You come 1 year, you got heavy traffic. So I'm giving you a good reason of why my taxes should be lower for now. I would understand this if all the phase was complete, I wouldn't be here. It's a reasonable, but that phase is still being built.
Ms. Revel, questions?
Just to clarify, so this lot beside you was
We have
always
pictures.
for sale, but
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it just hadn't
It
sold?
just hadn't sold, yeah.
Okay. And is there a house on your other side?
Yes.
Yes.
And did they face the same kind of impediments you're facing now when your house was being built?
Right now,
We
there's,
moved in around the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody
Oh,
else was
okay.
kind of moved in around the same time.
Okay. Do you have any information to provide on why there's no building permits that could be found on your home?
we have no clue why.
That would be Randall Homes was our
Randall
realtor.
Homes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, that's all my questions.
Thank you. Mr. Fluke,
Was the house built for you, or when the
Yes.
house was,
As for us,
you were built with your suggestions and
Yes.
customization and so forth?
because the house two doors from us, their property tax value is lower than ours. And they're dealing with construction as well. That site is still under construction.
Thank you very much.
And we do have a picture showing the garbage bins, there's a potty in the front of the house. This stuff that we have to deal with constantly.
Ms. Goddess, summation if you want.
No, thank you.
Final word? Okay. Leave it with us, and thanks for coming this morning.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Results very soon. Thank you. Did we just go?
The sun is out in the hallway, so it's probably just take a short break.
Yeah, okay. call the meeting back to order. And we're going to go to Hadfield Bay, number 200. We'll either have the appellant or applicant sworn in or affirmed, either one.
Good. Please state your name,
Better get that stuff done?
and do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute to the panel this morning?
Yes. This one,
All right, thank you. All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You have the property at 200 Hallfield Bay?
Yeah.
And there's two different assessments, okay? You have 2017, which has a V-Day of April 1st, 2014. And then we'll deal with that one first, and then we'll go on to the 18 that has got a V-Day of April the 1st, 2016. And I can see that you've done your homework because you have lots of handouts. So, Ms. Goddess, whenever you're ready, you can take us through this first property.
So 2017, I do have a recommendation
Yes.
to which the appellant did not accept.
Okay.
Okay, so this property is located in Dakota Crossing, that newer pocket of homes. Because it's the 2017 value, I had to use the River Park South to find newer housing stock. This property is a two-story single-family dwelling that was built in 2017, and it measures 2,271 square feet with no basement finish, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, air conditioning, attached multi-car garage, and it sits on a 5,090 square foot lot. I have put a recommendation forward to lower it to $460,000 or $202.55 a square foot. The comps are all two-story single-family dwellings that were located in River Park South. Number 1 is 18 Kellendonk. It was built in '08 and it measures 2123 square feet, no basement finish, 1 full bath, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and attached multi-car garage on a 4,663 square foot lot. Number 2, 11 Buckley Trow, built in 2012, measures 2101 square feet, no basement finish, 1 full bath, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached multi-car garage on a 5,058 square foot lot. Number 3, 19 Buckley Trow, built in 2012, measures 2375, no basement finish, 2 full, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, fireplace, attached multi-car garage, and it sits on a 5,353 square foot lot on an internal corner. And number 4 is 99 Stellarton Crescent, built in 2013, measures 2,355 square feet, no basement finish, 1 full, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, attached multi-car garage on a 5,299 square foot lot on an external corner. So these sales range from $193.69 to $210.99, and I believe the recommendation of $460,000 or $202.55 a square foot would reflect the market value. Thank you.
Thank you. Question, sir?
I'd like to first start with apologizing for running last minute. I was estimating I would have enough time to, but as the time clicked, I didn't want to get.
Well, we don't want you to get a ticket,
No,
that's for
that's
sure.
it.
That's
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And I also want to thank you, all board members, and also I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate how things are done, just from having the opportunity to see how things went from beginning to now. I guess a question I would have, I may have missed it maybe when it was stated. I was just wondering how the initial assessment of the 484,000 was done,
So it's on a mass appraisal.
mass appraisal?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, just if you wanted to understand,
Mhm.
and I didn't mean to interrupt, but if you take a look at your square footage,
Yeah,
and the assessor has used $213 a square foot,
yeah,
and you multiply that by your square footage, and that will give you your assessment of 484.
okay,
And then she's taken the average of the various square footages and so forth, and based on other factors, and you come up with that amount per square foot.
okay.
So that's how you get that.
And that square footage is square footage of the house?
Yes.
Okay. On there, I'm not sure if this is a question, it's just a comment, especially when it relates to the lot size. The square footage is one thing. The shape of the land is another thing that's to be considered. On the square footage, and on the land I have right now, if I wanted to have a bigger garage, I couldn't, because the shape of it, it starts wide at the front and tapers at the back, so it was pushed. And the land size itself is not necessarily something that's advantageous over the land beside it, like there's a 4,663 square feet. I didn't see that one, but although it's a big area in general, the shape of it is not something that's flexible enough to make some change to the house that I wanted to build.
Which is what vote 39 says, reverse bylaw.
Yeah, it's the reverse of, the opposite of what I have on the other side. The other families have like a wider backyard as opposed to ours. So that's probably just a comment I wanted to make. I think other than that, I don't have question right now.
Okay, Ms. Ripple?
So could you please tell me when you actually purchased the lot in 2016?
Yeah,
And then the house was built in, oh, I'm sorry, it's right there, June 15, 2017.
yeah, the value of this land, it was dated March 2nd, 2016,
Yeah.
on the first sheet here.
Okay, I have no further questions. We'll get to your presentation in a minute, sir.
Robert?
No, thank you.
No, I have none either, so the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, I think I provided some copies here. The first one is again the land value, which was dated March 2nd, 2016. The value was 112,900, and that's exactly how much I paid for the land. And the initial assessment of the land value in 2017 is 121,000, which is significantly higher than the value of the land. It's about $8,100 more than what the actual value was, which is 7.17% higher. So I have a question there how that would reflect the value when the actual value is 112,900.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite clear.
Okay.
You gave us this thing here that says your lot, the lot was 112.9, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And on her assessment, that's the price that she's using.
No, when I made the application, I did have a supplemental information that was sent to me. And the tax was estimated based on the evaluation being 121,000 for the land.
That's the purchase price, not the assessed value. He got a
Something
supplementary,
that I
yes.
haven't seen. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So this is what I received from the city of Winnipeg as a supplemental, because it's a new build, there was a value at some point, and when new information comes, they update it and they send supplemental information. So the supplemental information I received for 2017 from August 1st to December 31st, 2017, it indicated the value was 121,000. Sorry, I did not make a copy of that. I thought this was part of the.
That's okay, it's part of the file. He's referencing the
Yeah.
assessed value of the
Yeah.
land.
So for me, what I see is a difference between 121,000, that's assessed value of the land, as compared to what the actual value was.
112.
Yeah, we use comparables when we don't have value for something, but when we have an actual value, like if this was down the road, then I'm sure this property value would go on one of the comparables. It will be used as one of the comparables. So we have the actual value as opposed to the comparable. The second one is the multiple page document that I gave that indicates how much we agreed to. This discussion with the builder started early on. The date of signature is July 2016, but we started discussing and looking at lots and stuff like that early on. And the value for the house that we purchased is 420,756 at the beginning. And then the last one sheet that I gave would indicate after the upgrades that we had done to the house, as opposed to the initial value. And the final number was $434,928.43.
434?
$434,928.43.
Yeah.
It's the statement of adjustments, the one sheet paper I just distributed. The one piece. It's something the lawyer put together, statement of adjustments.
Okay.
So the question I have there is, although the evaluation year is 2014 or 2016 prior to that, on this date, like the thought is the value would go up, but on the exact time when we had the possession of the house, this is the value we paid. And I was not able to understand how the assessment would go beyond what we actually paid. And this was a fair market, like it's not that we negotiated differently. We were dealing with business that's doing their business, a builder who had considered all things, and they were building, and that's where I have difficulty understanding to see that much difference. On that note, I think the other question is when the 484,000 was assessed initially based on mass appraisal. I understand we need to look at a reference year, 2014, 2016. When information is not available, we can go and grab other information and use it. I have a question there too. How is it fair that we don't look at something 6 months later and we can go into other areas and use values? I understand, yeah, we need to have something to refer to come to a value. But again, I kind of question the fairness of the time when we would have started negotiation in the spring of 2016, but the signature was done in summer, which is past April 2016. How that is viewed also I have question. One last thing is, in general, based on, I did have another house prior to this one. We purchased and sold that one, and we built this one. And overall, my understanding is the higher the value of the house, the appreciation or the market value also it gets impacted. Like if you want to buy a house within the range of 300,000 and 400,000, yes, it's more competitive. There are more people who are in the market to buy, who can afford it. When it jumps beyond that, then it starts leveling off, relatively speaking. Doesn't mean it does not go up, but relatively speaking, it starts leveling off. So I also would like that to be taken into consideration. I think that's it.
Scottish questions?
Have you done anything to your property since you purchased it? Landscaping, deck, fence?
I don't have deck. I've done fence and I'm in the middle of doing landscaping. I have not completed that yet.
How much was your fence?
2,000, roughly around 2,000.
And you are not finished the landscaping?
No, I'm not.
Did you have to do concrete work also
No.
for the driveway and?
Well, the driveway was widened, I believe. Let me see if that was included in this one. No, it's not included in this one. The driveway came with the house initially, but I did add width to it.
How much was that?
$1,014, $1,000 or 14, something like that. It's not a lot, I just wanted it a little wider. On that one too, maybe this is not something you deal with. I had difficulty with a builder where they would charge me for the approach. Initially, I wouldn't pay for the approach, it's not part of it. And then when I wanted to widen the approach, it also caused grief because no matter what I do, even if I widen only 6 inches, it was a constant number, $500 for the approach. So I had no choice. So I feel like penalized, but this is not your problem, but I wanted to share it with you. It might be information useful for future. If someone wants to widen the driveway, it would be nicer to also widen the approach, but if they can use the same rate, like they would go based on square footage of what we had, right? So if they went by square footage, it could be cheaper, but they said, well, once you start doing that, you can either stay with a new driveway, which would make it not good of a shape, or if you want to do the approach as well, you will have to pay $500. It's a fixed number.
You had mentioned your reverse pie.
Yeah.
And were there other lots available when you chose that one?
In that area, no, I think that was the last lot. When the people before me were talking, I was thinking, oh, maybe my house construction may have been causing griefs to other neighbors. Mine was the last built there.
Okay. And you said that it doesn't enable you to put a garage back there, but you have an attached garage,
I do
correct?
have an attached
Yes.
two-car garage.
Okay.
It's good. No, what I'm saying is like if I wanted to have a wider garage,
Okay.
the square footage itself would appear as if I could do something like wider. I do have other friends on the neighborhood who were able to add 2 feet of space in the garage on both sides. In total, they had 4 feet. Now, if I wanted to even add 2 feet, like 1 foot on both sides, I couldn't because what happens is they would encroach into the
Yes.
minimum required 4 feet.
Right.
Yeah, so by the shape of it, it doesn't necessarily compare with another lot which would have the same square footage. It's my choice. When we bought it,
Yes.
yes, we did choose it, but when we compare here, when we look at just numbers, sometimes the numbers themselves might not exactly be comparable with what I wanted to share. But we chose that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Ms. Krampel?
I don't think I have anything, thank you.
Mr. Falou?
When you were talking about the property, and I noticed that listing, the sheet that you gave us, that was the cheapest lot that was there.
Yeah.
And so in effect, it's wide at the front and narrow at the back.
Yeah,
Whereas in some cases, it's mostly narrow in the front and wide at the back.
yeah,
So in effect, anyone else that bought any other property, the price was more because it was a different configuration.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it is true, and I'm expecting that to carry over, like, it should not be jumping from 112 to 121 just because we purchased it and now it's owned by someone, or it's being used.
Okay.
So, did you conclude value in regards to the V-Day for 14?
What would that mean?
Well, that's what we're after. You have a figure, like the cities that, you know, for the V-Day of 2014, they're at 484,000. Okay.
460.
For
For
16.
the recommendation.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Oh, I'm sorry,
that's okay.
the 460, and which you're not in agreement. So do you have a figure that you would accept, or
Oh,
what
okay.
you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I would go with what exactly I paid for the house when I was done and moved in.
Okay, that was like.
434.
Yeah, say 435, eh?
Yeah,
Well, and if one for 34, then the fence is 1,000 and the driveway's another 1,000, so it's about 436.
okay, yeah, that could be considered. Again, this one, if we're gonna go back to 2014, that where we go is a question too. I was comparing it with 2016.
All right?
2008?
Yes, please.
So I just wanted to say that 2018 was appealed, but 2019 was not appealed, okay? So 2018, we are now in the subject neighborhood. And that's Dakota Crossing. They range in size from 2116 to 2278 square feet. They all have no basement finish, 3 washrooms, air conditioning. Only Comp 1 does not have a fireplace. They all have attached multi-car garages, and they range in lot size from 4,614 to 5,194 square feet. And these sales range from 204 to 229.06 a square foot. The subject is at the lowest end of these at 204.76 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Questions of the assessor?
I think, I'm not sure if this is how to ask, is there an annual increase that's expected, like percentage-wise?
Okay, so the assessed values are every 2 years.
Yeah,
And 2020s is coming up. You're gonna be getting a letter sometime this year with a new value, and it's based on sales that occurred between April 16 to April 18. So it just depends on what the market did during that time.
okay. Now, if the house was established instead of this new build, would it jump this much? So what I'm comparing now is 434, 435, which was actually paid for the house. It almost comes back to, would you offer me that much? You remember you asked the other person?
Yes.
So when people want to buy a house, which I was also doing in recent years, I was comparing things, and at that amount, would prices go as high as that much? Now,
Well, if you look at my comparables,
yeah,
that's what we base it on. And the comparables for 2017,
yeah,
your original value did not, I felt it should be lower, and that's why I offered you the recommendation.
yeah. So now if we're using April 2016, the range of April 2016 to April 2018, my house would fall within that range.
Yes, your sale,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so if my sale falls within that range,
Yeah.
and if there was another house that's going to be compared to my house sale price would go into the comparable list, correct?
True.
And that would be 434, whatever I paid
Yeah.
for it, right? So based on that, my house is going to be used as a comparable value for houses coming down the road, being 400, for ease of communication, let's use 435. So my house at 435 is going to be one of the comparables for houses that are to be assessed.
In
using-
2020.
In 2020, right?
Sure.
So with that one, I kind of question, yes, there were numbers that were used, but I do have an actual amount that's paid in between these periods. And based on that one, I would like that to be given consideration. So basically, all I'm saying is, I'd like to pay as a citizen, but when I know I pay only $435,000 in 2017 for my house, to pay tax at $465 for that house, just doesn't feel fair, doesn't feel right, based on what, like if I was comparing with other people's house, then I don't know what's inside. In my case, I know my house, I know how much I paid, I've negotiated as much as possible, and it just doesn't feel right to pay at a higher, way higher than what I paid for it. So I do understand the comparable values, but unfortunately, this was not one of them to be used as comparable, but down the road it's going to be used.
Yes.
I just wanted to explain that. One thing I forgot, maybe when the 2017, when we moved, not everything was finished. Like there was a lot of mess. The driveway was not done, the garage was not, the concrete was not poured, it was mud and all that kind of thing. There were things that we had to deal with, just like other people were saying. So this was all part of that as well. I think I don't have any other question based on what you presented.
Ms. Rappel?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Mr. Faluk?
No, I think everything that I was thinking about has been answered, thank you.
Heather, I just noticed that comp 3, it's way out of line for the sale price. It's 509, let's say 510,000. So, why? Food furnishing?
It was fully landscaped,
Yep.
appliances were included,
Oh, appliances?
yes.
So,
So,
why would we
but I
use-
mean, it's way,
I was trying to find it's comparable size to the.
yeah,
Yeah.
but, you know. Have a pool or anything?
No,
No? Just the finishing was that much better? And
it's a sterling, I'm not sure.
it's a what?
Sterling.
Sterling? So a little, probably
A
better.
little bit better. I was just primarily trying to find square footage and no basement finish.
Mhm. Okay. Your presentation, sir?
Okay, I just have a couple of things to add,
Yep.
if that's okay. I think in terms of the whole process, even looking at the value going from 484 to 460, I understand how it was arrived. We use what we have available, but as someone who has tried to pay my due taxes and everything, you know, contributing, I find the overall process kind of questionable. I had to pay to apply for this one. I had to spend time to prepare for this one. I have to take time off for this one. I'm also a civil servant. And when the appointment was given, it said 9 o'clock. And I had my son here with me, taking him somewhere. I did not know about this one. So in terms of clarity, if I was given appointment at 9, I knew about it only today after I arrived here. I would be sitting here with people and wait, so I have no idea what time. The other thing is privacy. For me, there is nobody. People are gone, maybe I can talk. Sometimes I felt a little bit humiliating when people say, I have a job, I don't have no, I cannot afford. That's why I appreciated how you're handling things. So I do really appreciate how you handled. But when I listen to people sharing their situation, I kind of wondered. So I'm not complaining or anything, it's like a feedback. Is there a little different way of doing it? Say, people can come and wait, and maybe can be called in one by one. So it's just feedback. Maybe it's not possible. You may have gone through different way of doing things. But I know in other places, businesses, people, after something is done, they do send surveys, how did we do? The feedback you give us, I just wanted to convey that. So I've appreciated how things were handled here, but I just wanted to give those comments. And for people maybe to have a little better, like parking is an issue. If I was in the middle, I could go out and get ticket and all that kind of thing. With all that to be taken as a feedback.
I think all your points are very valid, and I notice our secretary is making lots of notes, and I'm sure she's going to convey this to our manager. But I do, I agree with you. There's a lot of neighbors that might be here or people in the area that you probably see, and I don't appreciate, being open like that, and the fact that you were scheduled, and unfortunately you don't have to wait, and we can only do so much, I guess, and we have a docket and we follow the docket, so I'm sure that our secretary will convey this to the manager of the appeals.
Yeah.
If I can make a comment.
Yep.
I agree with many of the things that you've said, okay? But when say you were scheduled for 10 o'clock, and how much time should we give for each person so that we would be there ready for you at 10 o'clock? So we started at 9, we say 15 minutes for each person. And yet people, this is their hearing, we can't say you can't spend more than 15 minutes. And so a lot of times we do not cut people off. We allow them to talk. You've been here for quite a while, and it is very hard to monitor that. Aside from the fact that maybe you should only be here and nobody else, but then other people are sitting there and they're getting agitated because they're now past their time that they should have been, because we're giving everybody as much opportunity as they can. So it is a difficult thing to assess and to do, so
Yeah.
we appreciate your comments.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I said maybe different things were tried in the past. I'm just saying from my side, like when I took time off this morning, to my supervisor, I told, I have appointment tomorrow morning. I don't know how long it takes, so I plan to come in the afternoon. I didn't want. So one of the things that can be done, even in the letter, if it could be stated this could take up to 2 hours or 3 hours, be prepared, then that's what it is. My time is more than everybody else's time. I do understand that. So people can take more time. Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Are we dealing with your presentation?
Yeah, I think the 2019 thing, when I came in, I did not realize I did not have the documentation. I did not know I can do for 3 years. I just came to do one and then to go to the next once one was dealt with, but I was advised I could do the 2018, so I did both. Before I came, when I called in, for some reason, I was told that I did not include 2019. So I asked, I didn't know that, I would like that to be included, but I was told I could not. That's why I did
Yeah,
not
I think
include it.
the period passed
Yeah.
at the end of June
Yeah.
for that part.
Yeah, yeah. So I understand that, and that's how it was not included. But going forward, my hope is once 2017 and 18 are adjusted, just as when new information came out, I received supplemental information with things increasing. I hope that kind of supplemental information would be sent. I would have to follow that with the city. Because when information was added, I was getting other things. I will check that with them. Last one is, I think in terms of preparation, in the letter we were sent a list of properties sold on the website. We can go and access, but all they have is just the year of sale.
I don't think we have a copy of that.
I just printed
Okay,
it.
that's fine, that's fine,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't have it, but it's
No.
included in the letter that was sent to us.
Okay.
If we wanted to have comparables, we can go there, but it does not provide comparable things. For example, in here we see when it was built, how many rooms it has, all that kind of thing. All this one has is the address, the building type, and the sale month and the
Yeah.
price. It does
You'd
not.
have to drive past them to see and make your own little notes on them.
Yeah,
That's the unfortunate part.
yeah, so that's less than adequate, I think, is just a comment I wanted to
Yeah.
make. Other than that, I think my part is done.
So, I think, for the record though, what value are you seeking for the 18? And the VD of 16?
I would say for looking at 460 versus 465, the recommended adjusted value of 460 that I did not agree with, just I wanted to use some way of arriving at a number. When I calculated going from 460 to 465, it's 1.9% increase. Based on that, I would expect somewhere in that neighborhood, so I would say from 435 to 438. I paid 435 approximately, and going to 438 based on the additional fencing and landscaping that's going on. I would say, if I'm allowed, I'd be happy to stay about 435.
Scottus, questions?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Mr. Revel?
No, I'm fine.
Mr. Fuller? Summation?
I'm fine.
Summation?
I'm good, thank you.
I think you did quite an admirable job, and all things will be considered, and thank you for your appearance this morning.
All right,
Okay.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Thank
your.
you, and results very soon.
Okay, good, thank you, you've given me abundant time. I do appreciate that, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, have a good day.
You
You
too,
too.
Bye.
and hopefully you won't have a ticket.
I hope not. No, I don't.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, we just have a little cleanup work to do, Heather. And we'll first deal with Cunnington Avenue, number 19. There's a recommendation on there. And so the original assessment, you can just state it for the record and what the recommendation is.
Okay, the original assessment was $419,000, and recommendation to reduce it to $365,000 to better reflect the condition of the property. That was accepted by the homeowner per telephone conversation.
And Heather, you talked about to better reflect the condition of the property.
Yes.
This,
There's bad workmanship there.
okay.
Yeah.
So did you get a chance to visit the property?
Yes, I inspected it, yes, yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we have is Kingston Road, number 133, and you can do the same thing, Heather.
All right, this was a 2019 value of $474,000. Recommendation to reduce the property to $225,000 to better reflect the structural condition of the property. That was accepted by the homeowner per telephone conversation.
That's quite a
Did
reduction.
you,
It's land value, basically.
oh, is it livable?
No, not really.
No. Okay, is there a condemned sign on it or something like that?
No,
No?
there's legal issues going on with him in the city right now, so.
Oh. So obviously it went to the property?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, that's substantial. We'll go to Lawndale Avenue, number 51.
This 2019 assessed value is $453,000. Recommendation to reduce the assessment to $357,000 to better reflect the 16 market value. And this was accepted by the homeowner per email conversation.
Heather, are most people like this agreeable to them, you know, to the recommendations? Or
I did an inspection of this property with the
Okay.
gentleman, so
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. Good. Now we'll go to Havelock Avenue, number 19, is it A?
Yes. 2019 value was $342,000. The recommendation to reduce the assessment to $311,000 to better reflect the market value for April 1st, 16, and this was accepted by the homeowner by telephone conversation.
Yeah, that was the year they bought it too, was it?
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next one is Cotsworth, number 39, whenever you're
Yes.
ready.
That's a 2017 appeal. The value was $489,000, and the recommendation was to lower the assessment to $470,000 to reflect the 2014 market value, and the recommendation was accepted by the homeowner per telephone conversation.
I think that concludes everything, Heather.
Thank you.
I thank you very kindly. Excellent job.
Wasn't there a couple that didn't show up?
Well,
Okay.
that's on the QT.